You broke the all-time record for the largest gathering of trailer park trash The Rock has ever seen. You'll have a story to tell your 600 inbred grandchildren one day. You shut your mouth, fatty. The Rock will come out there and slap the herpes off your lips.
All right, y'all. All right. It's been a long time, man. It's been a long time since I've been on this camera. I've been in the highlight game, putting out these highlights for these amazing, amazing professional wrestling shows. And now, for the first time in months, I'm back here one-on-one talking to you guys. And this is Unmasked, formerly known as the War Room. We're going to be talking about wrestling news and rumors. There's so much that's happened in professional wrestling since the last time I've been able to sit here and talk to you guys. So I'm gonna get right into it. And before we do that, let's not forget to do our thing. We gotta shout out my boy Andrew Mott over on the League FFB, where he and I co-host a little show known as Let's Talk Dynasty. We're going to get you guys ready for your fantasy offseason. We're going to get you guys winning some championships over there, so don't forget to check him out. But we know why you're here. You're here for some wrestling news and some rumors. What am I going to get into first? I'm going to get into this thing that's going on, this thing that's coming up. What is it called? Wrestlemania. All right? And there's nothing bigger happening in WrestleMania than the situation surrounding The Rock, Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins. And I want to say this from jump. I know people have said whatever they're going to say. People have their opinion about how it went down, how everything occurred. But I'm telling you right now, The Rock turning heel and Cody facing Roman, that was 100% a pivot. It was 100% a pivot. Not only based on what I've seen with my own two eyes in my 20 plus years of watching professional wrestling, but also the things that are coming from several different sources about how the whole situation went down. I think that night that Cody came out on SmackDown and gave his WrestleMania match, which doesn't make sense because he won the Royal Rumble, gave his WrestleMania main event match to The Rock. I think it was 100% planned for The Rock to face Roman Reigns. 100%. Absolutely 100%. And the fan outrage is what led to The Rock's heel turn, and it led to them changing the main event of WrestleMania to Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns. Absolutely. And then when you sprinkle in, you go to the press conference, the whole thing then shifted around. You got Seth coming out, you got Roman coming out. His continued burial of Seth Rollins and the World Heavyweight Championship. He did it that night on SmackDown when Cody gave up his spot, but he also did it at the press conference. Don't know what that does for Seth or the World Heavyweight title, but it was indeed a burial. Then you got The Rock coming out. Rock smacks Cody. A little pushing and shoving match occurs. I mean, that's just where that was. And it was 100% a pivot, man. Like, people are out there saying, like, oh, yeah, this is the plan from the very beginning. This is what The Rock had planned. He joined TKO. This was what he was going to do the whole time. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. Straight like that. The fans, for one of the first times, the fans actually changed the narrative. I mean, I don't agree with what some of the fans were doing, going out, threatening The Rock's daughter. That shit is not cool. That shit's not cool at all. But for the positive fans that were out there chanting, putting up, and yeah, I don't care. The Rock said you're Cody crybabies or whatever. It felt good for fans' voices to be heard, and I think that's definitely something that you wouldn't have seen with the old regime. And kudos to The Rock for having the maturity to go ahead and make that pivot, because he really could have just been like, fuck that, fuck what y'all think. I'm fighting Roman at WrestleMania. Deal with it. But The Rock did the right thing there. So that's going to lead me to the next thing, which is, will there be a tag team match between Roman Reigns, The Rock, against Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins? That would be a dope tag team match. I'm the first one. I'm not a tag team match hater, but I do like the idea of that one. I like the idea of that one. Just having those guys up there fighting, I think it does best to benefit the storyline and to push the storyline forward. I think that's something that you could do a night one and turn around and have the main event match between Cody and Roman Reigns night two. I think that's something you could definitely do, especially if we're in a situation where Seth can't defend the World Heavyweight title, which I think he will. But let's say he's not, he could be protected in that tag team match. So, I mean, do I think that's what we're going to see? I think so, because in some capacity, The Rock will be having a match at WrestleMania. I mean, I think that's what he's been training for. That's what he came in to do. So I think he's going to do it. Yeah, that's pretty much it right there. That leads me to my third thing. Now, this is pro wrestling news and rumors, but I'm also going to be putting out some predictions here. And this probably won't be the first place you hear this, but I've been talking to Petey Stunt. I have to ask this. Is it possible that we have a situation where The Rock, no, it wouldn't happen in that order. What if Seth Rollins, hear me out. What if Seth Rollins screws over Cody in a match against Roman Reigns? Hear me out. Cody kicks out. Seth's already up the ramp in the back. Then the second phase happens. The Rock screws over Roman Reigns, double turn. Cody walks away the champion. That sets the stage for not only The Rock versus Roman Reigns, a storyline that could play out the entire year leading up to the next WrestleMania, but it can also set up Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins. Kind of far-fetched, but it would be awesome, wouldn't it? I think it will. If you don't think it's awesome, or you think it's awesome, leave a comment below. Let us know what you think. Now we got to talk about some very unpleasant things. It's been a while since I've been here. Like I said, a lot has happened since the last time we were here. Vince McMahon. We all know what the sick son of a bitch has been up to. We all know what he allegedly did. So I'm not going to say. I still think he's a sick son of a bitch no matter what, whether it's alleged or not alleged with this thing with Janelle Grant. But nonetheless, sick bastard. Bruce Pritchard finally spoke. And when Bruce Pritchard spoke, what did he have to say? He pleaded the fifth. He ain't have shit to say. He kept his mouth shut. I definitely think he is a part of the other shoe that's going to drop. I don't know if he's the sole of the shoe or the laces, but he's definitely a part of the shoe that's going to drop. There's no way. I see no scenario where Bruce Pritchard leaves this unscathed. Either he's going to be ousted from WWE TKO, or he's going to have some type of legal ramifications from all this, because there's no way, as Vince's right-hand man, like if Laurinaitis was the right hand, Pritchard probably was like the right index or the left hand. Like, he knew what was going on. So I think that's a whole thing that has to be navigated, but I don't see him long for the company, not at all. There's also things coming out from sources saying that we're going to have more info coming out from each side. Vince McMahon, Janelle Grant, her representation, John Laurinaitis. There's sources saying that maybe this week we're going to be hearing something about the case, or they're going to be making their statements. I don't necessarily know if we're going to hear it, but they're going to be getting their legalization of, like, whatever it's called. They're going to be making their statements. So that's coming up. The next thing I'm going to talk about in the category of Vince McMahon is some things that came out from former wrestler Rene Dupree, and it's things like his channel's called like Podcast Cafe de Rene or something like that, and he allegedly said that, well, he didn't allegedly say it, he said it. He said that Vince was making passes at Jackie Gator. She was a former WWE wrestler, fiance of Charlie Haas, one half of the world greatest tag team with Shelton Benjamin. It was his wife, and allegedly Vince made passes to her, and when she didn't play ball with Vince, they got fired. They got fired right after the wedding, which, if you know anything about CM Punk, AJ Lee, Vince tends to not give a fuck when it comes to firing people after their wedding. He doesn't give a shit about it. Our last point in the whole Vince category is going to be Tony Kahn and his opinion, which, if I'm WWE or a WWE fan that has no connection whatsoever to AEW, don't watch AEW, which I'm not. I watch both AEW and WWE, but if I'm one of those WWE only guys, like, I give two shits about what Tony Khan has to say. But basically, Tony Khan says something along the lines of the allegations against WWE. Tony. Here we go again, Tony. The allegations were not against WWE. The allegations were against Vince McMahon, who is no longer in WWE. Focus on AEW. Stop trying to throw dirt on WWE any chance you get. The shit was against Vince. Yeah, I know there's probably things. WWE's probably going to get sued or something behind it, but she's strictly making these allegations against Vince McMahon. So, speaking of that, man, let's just go to the next thing, man. AEW. Speaking of Tony, since you want to open your big mouth, there's word out saying that talent, they're getting tired of Tony. They're getting tired of Tony and his mystical way of thinking of, like, oh yeah, we got 1 billion fans and we sold 1 million tickets and we got every hot. Now, you probably do get every hot free agent that's on the market, but you don't do nothing with them. So if you don't book them right, like I said it once, I said it again. The day Tony Khan realizes that he doesn't need to be in charge of the shit he's in charge of, other than being the owner of the company and actually hiring somebody that does the booking and that makes the decisions day to day, the better off AEW will be. There's no problem with AEW. The only problem AEW has is called Tony Khan and maybe the women's division, but the women's division is getting a big boost real soon. Yeah, man, Tony Khan, he talks too much. That's just what it is, man. Tony talks, and he talks and he says shit that's wrong half of the time. It's easy to fact check. Fans call him out. Other people who are way deeper in this wrestling shit than I am, who've actually either wrestled or worked backstage or been a part of creative with different companies, they're calling him out on this shit. So yeah, man, Tony's talking too much, man. It's easy to fact check the shit he be talking about too. So he needs to focus on himself. That's why he needs to get out the whole, I'm talking about WWE, having his wrestlers talk shit about WWE every second he get. He needs to get out of that business for real. And then we got the big news from AEW is that allegedly Okada is on the way. Okada's on the way. They're finalizing the contract for Okada. Okada said, fuck WWE, which, if I look at the history of how WWE has booked some of its Japanese male wrestlers, keyword, male wrestlers. I would also probably say fuck WWE if I was Okada, just being honest. Japanese male wrestlers have not been booked well in WWE. This is a new WWE, but this new WWE hasn't even proved anything because they basically turned Shinsuke into a fucking anime character. So, and you can see I got animation all around. They turned him into an anime character, trust me. And yeah, man, that's it. That's all I got for you guys today. Be sure to check us out. Check out the League FFB and keep watching those highlights, man. I appreciate all you guys' support. Thank you. Keep supporting us, please. Like, subscribe, turn on your notifications. Check us out. This is Unmasked. I am MFGDs, and I'll see you guys next time for another episode of Unmasked.
So for 10, what?